Hello students, welcome to Villa College and the Learning Support session. I hope your studies at Villa College go really well. We're going to cover the different activities that Villa College does in order to support our students. My name is Yasir. I'm from the Institute for Academic Development here at Villa College, and I lead the activities for learning support. Okay. Can you read this dialogue between A and B? Just take a couple of minutes and have a look at it. Okay. Were you able to read that dialogue? Was it fairly clear? Probably some of you would have been able to read it very easily, and it's readable with a little bit of effort anyway, yeah? But is this the kind of language that would be okay in a college essay or a PowerPoint? Not like this, but in a PowerPoint that you make as an assessment or as part of your class activities. You'll probably be thinking, not quite, right? It's not really what you would really want to see in an essay, or a lecturer would want to see in an essay or a report, and so on. So, part of what learning support at Villa College does is to enable you, students, to be able to reach or recognize the level of language that you would need, especially with language, the level of language that and performance that you would need in order to perform well at the college in your studies. So, in order to do that, we have three different kinds of workshops or activities, and also an online engagement that we do regularly. Okay, so we'll look at these now. Okay, but before we do that, thinking about language a little bit, let's see, what does language do? How does it help you? The first thing is that it helps you to learn more and to learn faster, whether it's about reading or listening. It also enables you to participate better in learning through reading and listening. For example, let's say you're given two or three different articles to read for the next week. If you're able to read more effectively, if you're able to understand the more important points in those reading extracts or articles, you'll be able to finish your work earlier and understand more, and then therefore be able to participate better in your lessons. Another thing is that, especially during these COVID times, a lot of the lessons will be on Google Meet or some other platform, and you're going to be basically listening to your lecturer or to other students, and also communicating with them on your own through speaking, obviously. But then a lot of learning these days involves listening and listening effectively. So language helps you to do this as well. For example, by being able to read more effectively, you'll be able to understand more words, more expressions to do with your topic or module, and therefore engage better. Also, after you've had these lessons, you have a lot of different kinds of assessments. So, for example, you may have tutorials, you may be asked to do presentations, you may be asked to do an assignment on your own, an essay on your own, or with a group of other students as well. The better your language is, the better you'll be able to show that you have understood the content of the lessons, of the module, and also to be able to show your understanding through writing or through speaking, through different engagements, right? Also, language is important not only obviously for college but also in your professional lives. And I think most of the students who join Villa College have big aspirations. They want to get ahead in life, they want to get ahead in their careers, and therefore it's very important for all of you to be able to use language more effectively. So, if you think back about the first slide that I showed, if our level of language doesn't go much beyond that, then we'll not have a very good impact in our careers, or to make headway in our lives, really. Yeah. Okay. So moving on. One of the big ways in which we engage most effectively with students at this time is through Viber, because Viber enables us to reach quite a lot of students uh, quickly, and also helps us to give you or share with you a lot of information that you can interact with. So we have this VC Etudes group or community on Viber. It's a community rather than a group, so that all of the students' identities are basically anonymous. Your numbers, phone numbers, will not be seen by anybody else. At the moment, as you can see, and this was on the 19th of January, we had 1,199 students or members. Most of these members, I think, are Villa College students, whether they are present or from some time in the past. Maybe they have already graduated, but they still are interested enough to be engaged in this community. So this is one way in which we reach out to students, and it's a very important way in which we are able to help you throughout your studies. So I would urge you to participate in the community, to make it a bigger community, and from time to time we have had to sort of stop members posting in the group, because sometimes there are trolls who are posting useless or not very particularly helpful things. Okay, but this is a very important way in which we reach out to students. One of the ways in which we use this platform basically is I share useful materials, useful links. Sometimes they are memes of various, let's say, grammatical work or vocabulary work and so on. But at other times, I share links as well, which can be tracked, so that I can see how much use students are actually making use of the links. Um, The first kind of workshop that we have is the referencing workshops. Referencing workshops are very important because it enables us to help you to learn more about the UV Howard referencing system, especially because the UV Howard referencing system is the system we use in order to show what we have read in our assignments or PowerPoints and so on. The UE Howard referencing system is not really the Howard referencing system. It is a customized version of the Howard referencing system. So there are quite a few differences, and therefore you need to know very clearly what the UE Howard referencing system is. And this workshop enables us to help you to learn about the system. So it covers the basics of the UV Bristol Howard system. Also, in this workshop, we look at plagiarism and what it is and how to avoid doing it. As you may already have heard, plagiarism is the different ways in which students actually sort of cheat through using other people's materials, or through having other people do their work, or by not giving enough credit to the people whose work you have actually used, or that the student has used in order to write up their assignment or their presentation or their report, for example. So we look at what plagiarism is and how to avoid it, and also we look at how to do citations. Citations are what the student has to give in the body of their work, so in the essay, for example, and then the reference list has more detailed information about the citations that they had given in the essay. So citations and the reference list are very important, and they have to be done very carefully, and therefore it's worth making the effort to learn more about it through the workshop and also through other ways of engaging and finding out more about referencing. Now, these workshops are actually conducted around the fourth week of each semester because at the moment, when you're right at the beginning of your studies, it may actually not have a huge impact on what you're learning at the moment, or you may be wondering what's the use. But then by the fourth week, hopefully, your lecturers would have shown you quite a lot of different materials in your modules, and you'll see that a lot of the work that you have to do, a lot of the reading that you have to do is based on the work of so many different authors and researchers, and these different sources have to be used in your work, in your assignments and so on, in order to make them more effective and make them more strong in order to support the ideas that you have. So these will be conducted around the fourth week of each semester, and they'll be organized by IAD by working with your different faculties. This workshop actually is a practical session, and you actually do some practice work throughout the workshop. Then this is the main UV Bristol Harvard web page, and you should make clear from your lecturers. Okay, you should make clear which referencing system you definitely have to use. In most of the courses and programs at Villa College, and almost all the modules, not every module, but most of the modules use this system of referencing. And the basic page, the main page to do referencing, to actually look it up, to look up the different details of this system of referencing is found in the UV Bristol Harvard web page in the UV website. And this is a web page that you should have bookmarked, starred, as you can see in the slide. And you should be looking at it very often in order to make sure that you're on the right track. Otherwise, when you do assessments, you may lose marks if you make mistakes with the referencing or with the citations. So it's a very important page that you should be very, very familiar with. Okay. Kind of workshop is the academic writing workshops. At the moment, we don't have face-to-face workshops, so we do academic writing workshops also online. And depending on the faculty may ask us to organize an academic writing workshop on specific topics for a particular group of students, or else we engage with students and invite students to join academic writing workshops as we develop the topics, and hopefully during the semester we'll have a fair number of workshops, maybe once every 2 weeks or perhaps even once a week, depending on how much engagement we have, plus on the needs of the students. So we'll have academic writing workshops in two ways. One is on sort of on demand, or through applications individually from different students, but also we may have workshops that are organized through the faculties themselves. And these will cover topics like grammar and vocabulary and planning to do essays, or what to do in order to have an effective presentation, how to structure your writing to make it more effective and to get better marks, and so on. They can be organized on request through your faculty, as I mentioned before. Third type of workshops and tutorials are etudes. Etudes basically mean English tutorials. English tutorials are useful for a lot of students, and many students make use of these either individually or in pairs, or sometimes even in small groups. English tutorials can be booked at any time through the links that I'm going to share later on. And also in the Viber group that I mentioned earlier, I will be posting links to appointment slots for etudes, so that depending on the need that you have at a particular time, maybe you're getting ready to do an essay or a presentation, then you can book an etude to make sure that you're on the right track, or to ask us to have a look at some of the writing that you have done. We can't look at essays themselves, but we can look at a couple of paragraphs and give you feedback on whether you're on the right track, whether your writing is okay, whether the register of your writing is good enough, or what you should change in order to make it better. Although it says face-to-face or phone sessions in the poster that I've shown here, at the moment these are all online through Google Meet. They can be even arranged through Viber as well. And we can look at different topic areas such as academic writing, referencing, organizing your essay, language improvement, revision strategies, and so on. And you can book these etudes as often as you want, and these are free sessions, and through all of these workshops are free, so make use of these as much as you can and that you want. um, so these can be individual, in pairs, or in small groups, and they are based on specific aspects of the studies. If a student or a couple of students or a group want to have a continuous engagement in the etudes, that can also be done. So every week or every other week, one or two of you, for example, could have a regular session, and we can see how you improve, and we can help you to improve through the semester. The next kind of activity we have in student support is peer assisted learning. Peer assisted learning basically is about helping getting students who are very good in particular modules to help other students who are doing the module for the first time. So, for example, as fresh students on a particular course right now, you may be doing a particular course which we have selected for PAL. And in that case, we would have trained students who have already done that particular module and have done a very impressive job at those modules, so that we can then have those students help you in an informal way. These sessions are also pretty useful because rather than a lecturer speaking from his or her own perspective and sort of giving a lecture, a student who has already done the module would have a different perspective, and they are able to help you to learn more effectively, because they can speak from their experience about which aspects of the module were difficult, how to get about overcoming those difficulties, and what to do, for example, or how to study for the exams, for example, for that particular module. So it is to help students to help other students, and their informal sessions, even when they're online. In face-to-face times before COVID, we actually had sessions where students were able to come in for the group meetings, and it would have it was a much more informal session with coffee and so on. Yeah. These are actually for selected modules only, and this is a fairly new program even now, and sometimes it is difficult to have the sessions during these COVID times, but we are working on this, and you may find that one of the modules you take has PAL assisted learning, PAL learning, and you may be able to make use of it. What I was talking about earlier about the VC etudes community on Viber. If you're looking at this on a screen, you can use your phone to click the QR code even now to join the community, or you can use the URL that's given below the code. At the end of this session, also I'll be sharing the code, the URL, and so on. Okay. Like I said, this is very useful because with the Viber community, we are able to reach out to the students, and during the semester time, what we try to do is to have at least one useful activity or one useful URL link shared with you at least once a day during the week. Um, It will not be too many posts per day, but there'll be some engagement almost every day during the week so that you can learn continuously and you can learn something different from your regular studies. The application links for the Viber community as well as the eTudes application form generally is here. If you want academic writing workshops also, you can apply through the eTudes or through the URL that's given here. Okay, and also once we join the Viber community, we'll be sharing links to sign up for particular academic writing workshops from time to time. Thank you very much. Questions, please ask me after the video. Thank you, and welcome to Villa College again.